Hello. Hi, you. Hello in this moment, whoever you are. If you're new to me, I'm Crystal Crawford. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, and you have landed in Infinite Being School, which is this crazy free membership that I created so that we could start to practice being infinite beings. If you listen to any of my recent stuff in and around this date, you'll realize that I created the school and then I had a session with Gary Douglas and he said, would an infinite being choose that? And I said, no, realizing that I too need to practice being an infinite being. So for all of you guys watching this in the future, welcome. I called this, what did I call this? Do you truly want someone else to take care of you is what I called this. And this topic came out of something that we are exploring deeply in Infinite Being School right now, and even more deeply in Infinite Being School Prime, which is you as the most valuable product in your life. So I don't know about you guys, but 2023 for me is the year of liking me. And let's see, we're 13 days in. I'd say I'm definitely further along than I've probably ever been. And realizing so much how deeply self-judgment has run my life. So what we're doing in Infinite Being School Prime is we're taking one clearing, and it's this one: what energy, space, and consciousness can I be that would allow me to be the most valuable product in my reality, and everything that doesn't allow it, times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And we're running it 30 times a day for 90 days. So this is also a soft invitation into the next 30 days with us, because we've already been doing it 25, I guess. But when I was looking at reintroducing this conversation to us, I found another piece of this conversation, because it's a big conversation that I actually have a story about, and I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. And it's this. This is Gary speaking. He goes, you haven't actually chosen to create a life. You'd like somebody else to do it for you. That is called being a wife. How many of you believe that it should be your turn to be taken care of now? The problem is that you are all more capable of taking care of life in general than anybody around you. Have you ever noticed that you get more done than anybody else around you? But you keep going, who's going to take care of me? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to find somebody who's brighter, faster, quicker, and richer than you. Do you truly want somebody else to take care of you? No. The one person who won't take care of you totally is you. Now, I mean, hello. Hi, guys. Hi, Dana. Hi, Amna. Okay, so I love this. I also think it's just this, slap in the gut that Gary likes to, basically Gary speaks truth, right? And when I read this part about like starting to become the valuable product in my life and really starting to care for me, and then he's like, calling us out on wanting somebody else to do our life for us, I could see myself there again, temporarily. What I want to say is this: every single time that my life doesn't work, and if you guys are live, say hi, tell me your name. Sometimes it tells me your name. Hi, Laura. Sometimes it doesn't. Every single time my life doesn't work, money doesn't work, business gets hard, relationships are difficult, I have stepped out of creating my life every time. Now, I have a very particular moment where this hit home in a big way, and I wanted to tell you about it. So this was how long ago? 5-6 years ago. I had just gotten out of a really scary relationship. I had driven myself out of that house at 2 a.m. to my friend's house. She's like, you need to get out. I just cut ties immediately. And so it took me about a week or two to get my own place, but then I pulled money together and I got my own place. And for the first time, I was in my own place by myself with no relationship for the first time it had been like 25 years, like a long time. And so I was in the process of rebuilding me again. And this had not been the first time, but it was kind of a sobering time, because I had come through like 2 very, very, very intensely bad situations, like worse than they'd ever been before. And it had just shaken me up in a different way. So I'm laying on my brand new couch in my brand new apartment with very little furniture in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm taking a break from the day's activities. I don't remember. It was like after mid-afternoon or whatever. And I was laying there just like, I don't know, I think I was on a dating app. I was on I don't know, sugar mama, bear daddy app or something. I was looking for something. And it like hit me that what I was looking for wasn't somebody to date or somebody to be in my life. I was looking for somebody to take care of me. And the energy right underneath this is like, all I have to do is hold on until somebody shows up and can do this for me. And it was like so conscious at that moment. And I had to really sit with this for a while because when it first bubbled up, I was kind of embarrassed. I was kind of shocked at myself because here I am. I'm the certified facilitator. I'm doing all of these live videos, all these shows about like being empowered and creating your life and all this stuff. And secretly what's going on for me under the surface is I just have to hold on until somebody great shows up and can relieve me of the responsibility of having to take care of myself. Now, some of you have been really brilliant and have chosen families and partners that actually have provided that and been that for you. And so this may not be as much of a conversation, but I know that for most of us, we've chosen these families in this life and who we are right now in a way that requires us to show up for us pretty dynamically. And when we don't, things dynamically stop working. And that's what I chose. So if I don't show up for me and if I don't show up for you guys and if I don't engage and like create my life, then everything falls apart. And so when this hit me and I was sitting with all of it, I remember very distinctly like putting down my phone, taking myself off that friggin' app that I was trying to find something on because it was a bust. Like nothing was actually working. What I was trying to accomplish looking for in someone else wasn't working. You know why? Because I don't actually desire that. I don't actually want that. I want something else that I hadn't really gotten honest with myself about. So I took myself off that app and I'm just laying on the couch going, I am literally waiting for a knight in shining armor on a white horse to come save me from myself. And at the time, this was that same period of time where like I was giving up survival as a point of view. I was really starting to look at profit first and like instituting financial systems that were going to actually take care of me instead of me constantly scrambling for money. Like, you know, this was a huge transformative time for me. And so I'm literally waiting for a knight. That's literally what I'm waiting for. Once the knight shows up, I'm not going to have to pay off my past expenditures because they're going to have enough money. They're going to pay it off for me. I'm not going to actually have to do my business anymore because, of course, I have to, right? That's not just a choice. I will be able to just relax into somebody else doing this for me. And it wasn't working. I know some women that can create really wealthy sidekicks. I was not choosing that. And here's the thing, like in your life, when you have something you say you want, like I want somebody else to do this for me, I just want to marry someone rich or whatever narrative is going on for you, even unconsciously, and that's not what's showing up in your life. What's really true for you is way down here. So I'm like, okay, what's showing up in my life is not this. I don't get that this is what I actually want. I get that it's what I'm doing. What is really true for me? And so it took me a few days of sitting with all this. Sometimes these big, deep awarenesses, which I think is what's occurring for me right now because I'm so fried I can barely see straight, take days to kind of like work themselves into your fabric. I got up like 2 days later, had breakfast, and I was like, what if, because simultaneously I was studying the book Salon de Femme. And for those of you ladies that need a masterclass in being a humanoid woman, Salon de Femme is there for you. I was studying that book. And one of the things that Gary talks about in that book is being a warrior for the creation of future. Like that's what humanoid women are. They're the warriors for the creation of a different future. Humanoid men have a totally different ethos and that like role, like natural things they naturally gravitate to. That's actually reversed. Human reality has women at home. Humanoid reality is women are out there changing the fucking world. And that's where they thrive. That's where we thrive. And so I was like, and I'm like, so am I fully choosing that? Or somewhere am I still buying that someone else is going to do this for me and I won't have to actually be what I am? So that morning I got up and I'm like making coffee or whatever. And I've got these little posts. I see these little Post-it notes on my cabinet, where I pulled out these quotes from Salon de Femme because it just was singing to me. And I was like, what if I actually choose to be this for me? What if I choose to be the guy for me? What would that create? And somewhere in that 3 to 5 days, I fucking just chose it. I am like, I am going to be the one that takes care of me. I am going to be the one that creates living for me. And it wasn't like 14, 24 hours later where my friend who told me about Profit First came into my life. I actually found that book. I started really educating myself on what would a person who is caring for themselves choose? Because I had done the other thing for a long time. I had done the other thing where I'm like barely making it, just surviving, because that's the thing. When you're committed to survival, you create it. For a long time. I'd watched my mom do it for a long time. It was like the thing I knew. So in that demand that I made of myself of like, whatever it takes, I'm going to be the guy. I had to start teaching myself, like, what would being the guy be like in this situation? What would someone who was taking care of themselves choose here? And so out of all of that came my choices. I remember distinctly like setting up, I was handling my past expenditures. I had all these past expenditures back up in Canada that I wasn't taking care of. I handled them. I called the company. I got it consolidated. I started making regular payments. I put together Profit First system for my finances and really kind of bit the bullet. And you dealt with the, in the beginning, it's a little bit tight because you're distributing your revenue differently. So you have to learn to live differently initially while you're increasing your revenue. So I bit the bullet and I went through that first 2 or 3 months that were kind of awkward. I opened different bank accounts in different banks. I educated myself on all kinds of things. I started new spreadsheets. I literally, in that 5 days, made choices that created such a different future that we were able to move countries and go through a year of incredible transition and awareness this last year and still not only be okay, but like be in a great position. And I wanted you to know that because part of seeing yourself as something valuable means being willing to take care of you. And what I have to consistently look at is, am I just getting by? Or am I really caring for me? Am I just getting by, kind of tying a knot at the end of my rope, waiting until someone comes and rescues me from myself? Unconsciously most of the time, or most of the time. Or am I willing to like untie the knot, step off the rope and go, I'm the guy. I'm actually going to be my own knight in shining armor and I'm going to show up for me in a different way. Where can we start? I want to continually invite us to that conversation because what I see is that's the conversation that empowers us to be ourselves. One of the things it says in the How to Become Money workbook is to take up the challenge of who you truly are. And so I know there's so much stuff around this. So I created a $10 call that if you guys want to come on live with me and ask your questions about this and get facilitation, you can. And that's the link that's above my head. You can sign up. It's going to be on Monday. And then if you really want to cultivate this being a valuable product to yourself, like it seems far away. It's like you can still see yourself doing so many things against you, that self-sabotage, going into fear and doubt and hiding and all that shit that's like against you, even though you know it. If you need to cultivate something different, then we're doing that in Prime and you can come join us on Wednesday and that's just $37 a month. So you've got 2 different choices in front of you. You can do both. You can do just one. And, what would it be like if we really started taking up the challenge of who we truly are and caring for ourselves instead of waiting for anybody else to do it for us? So you're warmly invited to a very different conversation. And I'll see you in the next video.